Hi, we are going to discuss about the decorator. Decorator is a special functions which will take care of lot of things. We'll discuss what each one of them. Okay. So now, what is decorator, guys? Let me write a program and I will explain after certain discussion done so that we'll able to understand. The first thing is I will just write about the decorator. So we should know that so that we'll able to understand the decorators. Decorator is a function which takes function as an argument, and it will have one inner function which collects the arguments or the parameters passed to the source function. So now it might not be very clear, guys, this sentence. After I write some example, then I'll come back and read it. You will be able to understand very clearly. Now, let's say I'm writing a simple two function, guys. Let's say I want to square the numbers and it takes the some list of numbers. What I want to do, I'll create one result list to store the value. Then I look through all the elements in nums and I square it and add with the result list. I'm just squaring it. Now, finally, I will return the result. Now, if I call the function, let's say square nums, and before that, let's say my list is equal to list of range of 1, 11. Say I want to have 1 to 10, so I put 1, 11. Let's print it. We'll get the result with 1 to 10 get square, so 1 to 100 will get it. So we'll come to know once the result has been displayed. All the number from 1 to 10 got square. That's what we do. Simple function, right? The similar way, I'll just copy and paste and do it for the cubing it. I'll rename as cube nums. And that's it. Here I'm going to cube it. So let's call the cubing the number also. You'll get all the number get square. 1 to 1000 will get it. Yes. We got it square. Okay, this is fine. This is the normal way of creating the function and calling the function. Now, let's say like we wanted to check how much time each and every function takes. So what I need to do, before I start the operation, I'll say, first let me import the time library to calculate the time. Then I'm just saying time start time is equal to time.time. And end time after finding the square of all the numbers. I'll go for the reading the end time, that is time.time, and I'll print it. Square num function to end minus start time, right? So it will be very minimal in the seconds. So I'm going to multiply with 1000 to make it as a milliseconds. So that we will get some number, otherwise it will be very minimal. And this is also the end minus start into 1000 also is a float value, right? So we cannot concatenate string with a float. Let me typecast it also to be string so that all will become string and they can work together. Let me do the same thing for the cube also. The same code I'm copy pasting where I'm not making any big changes. Only one place where I wanted to change the name of the function. Instead of square nums, I'm going to say cube nums. That's it. Remaining everything same. Now, if I run this program, it says both of them took only 0 milliseconds. It's a typo, guys. It's a milliseconds. The thing is that it will not take much time for 10 numbers and all. We need to increase the size of the list that we are passing. Let's make 1 million elements. Okay, now if I print all 1 million squares and cubes, it will be very big output. So I don't want to print. Let's concentrate about the time that it takes. Because the new functionality we added in the existing function is to identify the time. Now if I run this program, it says square number function took 288.856 milliseconds and cube nums function took 271.734 milliseconds. Fine, guys. But you know what is the challenges with this function we have developed? This literally all the three lines are duplicates except the one, the function name. And this function is created for only the squaring the numbers, and this function is created for the cubing the number, but we added some other functionalities along with the original functions, right? So it is clustering it. I mean, it is confusing what is this function is support, whether this function is responsible for squaring the numbers or calculating the time. So a lot of problem comes guys. So to make a clean and neat function, what we are going to do, we are going to create a one function called decorator function. Let's say def. I want to calculate the time, right? Time calculation. Let's see, is my function name, and it will take one function. I'll tell you after writing the function. I'll tell you what I have written, guys. I'm writing all this. One letter I'll be explaining it very clearly, guys. So what I have done, I created a one function. This is going to be a decorator function. Now read it, guys. Decorator function. Decorator function is a function which takes function as an argument. This function is nothing but, see, if I call the square num, that will become the argument to this function, the function name. How do I decorate it? Wherever I want to apply this function, I'm going to copy the function name. I put at the rate of the function name on top of each and every function, wherever I want to call this decorator function. Now, since the square nums and cube nums are decorated at the rate of time by calculation, when we call this function or this function, first this time calculation function only will be called. So we have decorated it. Let's say if we are sending a gift to your friend by wrapping some decoration, if he or she wanted to open the gift, see the gift, what is there inside, first we need to open the wrapper, right? So like that, this function is been wrapped on top of this function. When I call the square nums, only this function will get executed. So this function will get called by the time this function is the first argument, right? It will be the square nums. The function will come as a argument to the decorator function. So here this function name is square nums, and it will have one inner function, guys. That inner function will be collecting the argument passed to the source function. That is what I have written it. Decorator is a function which takes function as an argument, and it will have one inner function which collects the parameter passed to the source function. So this function is getting called when I call the square nums, but this is the parameter for the square nums. So here it is a list of numbers. Those will be collected by the star argument. Let's put both. Why I am writing both star and double star is because we cannot say all the function will collects only the list as a input, right? Some function may take numbers, some function may take key value pairs. So it will collect all the combination, any input, any kind of input that been passed to the function, everything will be collected by star and double star keyword argument. Now I know the function name, I know the argument passed. But here what I am doing it, I am just reading this time and executing the function. Function of key star argument and double star KW arguments is nothing but function is the square nums and arguments are nums. So it is square nums of nums. We are executing the function from here after we read the start time. Once the function has been executed and it returned the value, right? So that value is collected by the variable called res and reading the end time. And if you want to get the value from the variable, we can put dot underscore underscore name underscore underscore. So it will give the name of the function. Then it say we took this much time. So since this function is executed and I'm executing the function after reading start time, and also I'm calculating the difference of the time also, I don't want to have these three lines of code in all the functions. I can get it removed. Even cube also, it has been decorated. So whenever I call square it or cube it, first this decorator function will be executed. There it will read the start time and execute the function and read the end time base. Now if I run this, I'll get the time it takes for both square it and cube it. So square nums function took 313 seconds, milliseconds. Cube nums took 285 milliseconds. So because of this function which has been decorated, so that same function can be used for any number of functions. So if I have a big application where I have 1000 functions, I don't want to write the calculating the time for all 1000 function. Only one function I can create as a decorator function. On top of all 1000 function, I can put at the rate of time calculation. It is not only for time calculation, guys. Like suppose if you want to get the output of each and every function written into the log file, we can write one decorator for logging it, and some user validation, and lot of things we can do. Anything that you want to do on top of the function, we will create a one function as a decorator function that will have a one inner function. And why I'm returning this? This function has only one line, return wrapper, because the inner function should be called, right? Only when we call the function will be executed. To invoke the inner function, I am just returning this function name. So this function will be called and it will be executed, guys. So that's all with wrapper, decorator function. So hope it's clear. Please let me know, like if you have any comments or any queries, we'll help you on that case. So thank you all.